Greetings. Now I will show you how to install and start up a BURNiT DC boiler. First fill up the hopper. Now I will show you the service menu of the controller. Press and hold the F and Enter buttons to enter the service menu. You see the hardware and software version. The service code is 00000012. Now we have to calibrate the feeder. To do this, use the ash container cover. Set the maximum desired power of the boiler. The calorific value must be written on the fuel bag, and the number of cycles. Now the controller, open the back burning flap. After that, select feed and wait till the pellets start dropping. Pull out all the pellets from the burner and return it to the hopper. Start the calibration from the controller. The blinking indicator shows that the menu is activated. You see the current cycle and the total number of cycles. After all cycles finish, a row will appear, and you have to enter the weight of the pellets. Measure the weight of all the pellets from the burner and the ash container cover. Enter the value. The feeding cycle is automatically calculated at full power. For the time of the burning cycle, which here is 20 seconds. From the next menu, we adjust the cleaning cycle parameters. Set the time for which the fan will work, and the time for the self-cleaning system of the burner. Use the same values. From the next screen we set the time for the ash cleaning auger to work. Use the same values. Here we set the self-cleanings and the time between them if the controller registers too high temperature in the feeding auger. Use the same values. Here set the time for the first dose needed for ignition. Use the manual for the different type of fuels. We forbid to set values above those, because this will malfunction the boiler. On the next screen set the parameters for igniting the fuel. First set the time for which the lighter will work. We advise this time to be 1 minute. And then set the time for which the fans will work. At the bottom line set the burner fan speed. From the unfolding setup screen we can set extra feeding with fuel. In case there is no ignition for 5 minutes after the cycle we set in the previous menu. On the next screen set when the burner goes to minimum power. Set 5 degrees and now if the maximum set temperature is 80 degrees. When the boiler reaches 75 degrees it will go to minimum power. On the next screen adjust the settings for minimum power. We advise to set the first value to 35% of the maximum power. On the next screen you can set when the boiler to stop and self-clean. You can set from 1 to 6 cleanings per 24 hours in exact time. The minimum number of procedures is 1. On the next screen you can turn on or off the pellet level sensor in the hopper. This option is not active. On the next screen, activate or deactivate the devices connected to the boiler. The central heating pump, domestic hot water pump, and room thermostat. On the next screen, choose how to control the boiler. It can be by the boiler thermostat temperature or the buffer temperature. If the second option is chosen, the boiler may still stop before the buffer is heated to the desired temperature, because it will reach its own maximum temperature. On the next screen, you can set the type of the room thermostat. Will it be normally open or normally close? On the next screen, adjust the setting on which the controller will register ignition and extinguish. The DT parameter sets the temperature differences of flue gases, upon which the controller registers ignition. The second parameter sets what condition should the controller register for normal burning mode. The third parameter shows that if the temperature of the flue gases goes below 85 degrees after the last feeding cycle, the controller will go in extinguishing mode. Here, set the maximum temperature which the client can set from his menu. Next few screens are testing menus. The first one tests the fan of the burner, and you change the speed with up and down buttons. Next menu is not active here. On the next screen, the icon activates the lighter. AUX options is not active. CS options is not active. Activating CS starts the cleaning auger of the boiler. On the next screen, we can test the rest of the outputs. FF is for the fuel feeder. BF is not active. CH activates central heating pump and the light on the left. DHW activates domestic hot water pump and the light on the right. EGN activates the lighter of the burner. CM activates the self-cleaning system of the burner. The last service menu shows the temperature of the sensors. The first one shows the temperature of the flue gases, the temperature on the top of the buffer, and the temperature at the bottom of the buffer. We have done all the settings so far, and now we can fire up the boiler. We will wait for the system to heat up and use gas analyzer to adjust the burning process. Press the F button and switch from standby to auto mode. Here choose which pumps to be controlled by the boiler. Central heating plus domestic hot water. Central heating only. Summer mode, only domestic hot water. On the top right corner you can see a symbol which shows that the boiler is in cleaning mode. When you see the flame symbol on the top right corner, the lighter is activated and the auger is transporting fuel. When the flue gases temperature rise with 5 degrees, the controller register ignition. When the flue gases temperature is 95 or above, there is a symbol, which means the controller registers stable burning process. Wait between 1 and 2 hours for the system to heat up and use gas analyzer. The oxygen level must be between 8 and 8.5%, so lower the fan speed. Wait for 10 minutes and check again to see the results. Repeat the same adjustments at minimum power mode. In order to go in that mode, reduce the maximum temperature of the boiler. Wait for 10 minutes and check with gas analyzer. The level of oxygen in that mode must be about 10 to 11%, so we don't need correction here. Now the boiler is ready for the heating season.